O kia ora e hoa, haere mai, come and join me. I've got a fabulous book for us today called Patrick and George, and the bear has a very special necklace. It's a necklace made out of a leaf. So I went out into my garden to try and find a leaf that would work for this bear. Oh, let's find out more about the necklace in the story. Are you nice and comfy? Well, it's called Patrick and George, A Bully, a Bear and a Change of Heart. It's written by Jessica Urlichs and it's illustrated by Craig Phillips. Shall we begin? Okay. Patrick was the biggest animal that George had ever seen, with his giant paws, loud roar, and cuddly belly. But George knew that the biggest thing about Patrick was his heart, his great, big, kind heart. George and Patrick met for a walk most mornings. Patrick always wore his favourite necklace. He had made it himself from a heart-shaped leaf. It was soft and gentle, just like him. Can you see the heart-shaped leaf? Pretty cool, eh? A bit like the leaves I found here. They're not quite a heart shape. Nearly. I had fun looking for them, though. One morning, along the pathway lined with trees, with a splash of sun and a gust of leaves, the pair heard a voice. "That necklace is silly." Feeling hurt and confused, Patrick looked around. "Who said that?" barked George. "I did." It was Riley the squirrel. "And you're silly too," she added, setting her sights on Patrick. What a mean thing to say. "Just ignore her," muttered George as he and Patrick continued down the path. "Remember to stand up tall. She's just being a bully, after all." Riley's mean laughter faded into the distance, but Patrick's hurt feelings didn't fade at all. Patrick had his feelings hurt. Riley had been mean, hadn't she? The following morning, Patrick arrived at George's house. "Ready for our walk today, Patrick?" George beamed. "Sure am," Patrick replied, but he sounded a little uncertain. The sun was still shining, but it wasn't as warm, and the leaves didn't dance. They looked tired and worn. Then Patrick heard the voice again. "My necklace is much better than yours," Riley gloated. "It's an acorn, which is hard and strong. Yours is fragile and it will break easily." Riley's being mean again, isn't she? I wonder why she's doing that. Is it a kind thing to do? It is not. Patrick looked down at his heart leaf and began to wonder if Riley was right. "Leave him alone," George yelled. Then he and Patrick continued walking. "Remember," said George, "to take your worry and your doubt, then breathe in deep and let it all out." Patrick took a deep breath in, then slowly breathed out. He felt a little better, but his feelings were still hurt. The following morning, the sun rose like it always did, and Patrick rose with it. He didn't really feel like going on his walk today, but he decided to be brave and go anyway. Even though Patrick had done nothing wrong, he was worried about being teased again. Poor Patrick. Patrick noticed the path looked different again. The flowers had drooped, and the plants had gone to seed. The path had cracked, and was covered in weeds. Then he heard Riley's voice. She came down from her tree and stood in Patrick's way. "Let me past," declared Patrick, but Riley ignored him. She's being really mean, isn't she? George could see that Patrick just wasn't himself anymore, and that made George sad. He began to wonder what more he could do or say. "Remember," George began, "sticks and stones may break my bones, but words do hurt me, George," Patrick interrupted. George sighed. He understood, because words can hurt, even when you ignore them. Patrick is looking pretty sad, isn't he? "Why me?" asked Patrick. "It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with her," said George. Patrick thought about this for a moment. "Thanks for sticking up for me," he said. It really was all George could do, but it just didn't feel like enough. That night, Patrick hung up his necklace. Maybe it was soft and silly after all. Do you think his necklace is soft and silly? I don't. I think it's really special and so creative, and I love that it's a heart shape. Poor old Patrick. The following morning, Patrick stayed in bed. He had decided to miss his morning walk with George. As he sighed a big sigh and looked longingly out the window, he heard a strange noise coming from down the pathway. "Help!" Patrick jumped out of bed. He knew he had to go and help whoever was in trouble. He ran and ran until the voice got closer. "Help!" That's when he realised who the voice belonged to. Who does the voice belong to? Can you guess? It was Riley. A rock had fallen on her tail. "Let me help you," Patrick said, and with his big strong paws he lifted the rock off Riley's tail. "I didn't expect you to help me," Riley said. "That's just who I am," said Patrick. In that moment, he realised that being true to himself was all that mattered, because his true friends loved him for him. "I'm sorry for being unkind," Riley said, and with that, she climbed back up the tree. Wow, Riley had been really mean to Patrick, but Patrick still helped her. Isn't he kind? He's a wonderful bear. Would you help somebody who is mean to you? It's a very special thing to do. And I'm so glad that Riley said sorry. Maybe she'll stop being mean now. Let's find out. As the sun stretched its arms the following morning, Patrick put his necklace back on. Maybe it was fragile, but it was his favourite. "Ready for our walk?" George asked excitedly. "Definitely," smiled Patrick. He was unsure of where the path would lead them today. Maybe Riley would make fun of him again, but he would not stop doing the things that made him who he was. "I missed you yesterday," George said. "I missed me too," said Patrick with a wink. When Patrick noticed Riley sitting in a tree, she offered him a small nod. Then out of the corner of his eye, he noticed that she had swapped her acorn necklace for something a little lighter. Can you see what it is? It's a heart-shaped leaf, just like Patrick's. "Well, I'm glad that's all over," George said as they walked away. "I do wonder what it was all about anyway." Patrick shook his head. George was right after all. It had nothing to do with him. I suspect, said Patrick, that she's had a change of heart. And she has. A change to a heart necklace. And that's the end of the story. It's a lovely story, isn't it? A story about friendship and about bullies and how bullies can change. And in the back of the book, there's lots of information about ways to stop bullying and notes for parents and teachers. And if you want to find out more about this book, you can visit wildlingbooks.com. And make sure you look for it in your local bookstore or your local library. And maybe you could go for a walk with your folks and find some leaves. Can you find a heart-shaped leaf? Or some interesting shaped leaves? They are fragile and they won't last forever, but they look amazing, don't they? And you can have lots of fun with them. I have lots of fun with you. I love it when you come to visit. Come and visit me again soon. Ka kite. Goodbye, my friend.